Have you ever placed a plant in a darker room? Maybe a hallway, a bathroom, or that corner with no window, and it slowly starts looking tired, stretched, and quietly unhappy? The tricky part is, the mistake often looks small, but the impact lasts a long time. Because in low light, plants don't crash fast. They fade slowly, and people usually blame the plant, not the setup. Welcome to Zoom Garden. Today I'll walk you through 12 best low-light plants for dark rooms and no window spaces, plus simple care habits that protect them long-term, especially if you want something calm, easy, and realistic. Stay until the end, because at point number 6 we'll talk about a habit many people think is correct. And at point number 10, there's one simple routine that often decides whether your indoor mini jungle recovers or keeps declining. This is practical, beginner-friendly, and safe for long-term results. So if you enjoy warm, no-stress plant tips, consider subscribing and let's grow a happier indoor space together. "12 best low-light plants for dark rooms and no window spaces." One. Cast iron plant, Aspidistra elatior. A lot of people start with a delicate houseplant, place it in a dark corner, and then feel frustrated when it slowly declines. The problem is not the plant, it's the low light. Low light conditions are very different from bright rooms, and many plants simply can't adjust. The cast iron plant is popular because it handles shade well. It grows slowly, stays consistent, and doesn't react badly to limited sunlight, making it a reliable choice for apartments or rooms with small windows. The most common mistake with this plant is overwatering. In low light, soil dries much more slowly, which increases the risk of root rot. To avoid this, always use a pot with proper drainage and wait until the top layer of soil feels dry before watering again. It's also best to keep the plant away from cold drafts or sudden temperature changes. If you're looking for a green, tidy-looking plant that doesn't require constant care, the cast iron plant is a practical and beginner-friendly option. Two. Snake plant, Dracaena trifasciata / Sansevieria. In low-light indoor spaces, many plants slow down or stop growing altogether, but the snake plant performs better than most under these conditions. It tolerates limited sunlight and does not require frequent care, which makes it popular for busy households. One common mistake, however, is treating it like a plant that needs frequent watering. Snake plants prefer dry soil between waterings, and excess moisture is a more common problem than lack of light. When the leaves start to feel soft, droop, or bend, the issue is usually overwatering rather than poor lighting. Water sitting too long in the pot can weaken the roots and affect leaf structure. To prevent this, use a well-draining soil mix and water sparingly. Slow growth in low light is completely normal and not a sign of poor health. Because of its durability and clean appearance, the snake plant works especially well in bedrooms, hallways, and office spaces where low maintenance and a modern look are preferred. Three. ZZ plant, Zamioculcas zamiifolia. Low light often makes people panic and rush to buy grow lights, but the ZZ plant handles dim rooms without much trouble. It naturally adapts to low light conditions, which makes it a reliable option for offices, apartments, or rooms with limited windows. The most common mistake people make is placing it in a pot that stays wet. ZZ plants store water in their thick stems and roots, so they prefer soil that dries out between waterings. Constant moisture can lead to root rot and stress the plant instead of helping it. If you start seeing yellow leaves, don't assume the plant needs fertilizer right away. The first thing to check is soil moisture and drainage. A simple care routine works best. Bright indirect light is ideal, but low light is still acceptable. Water only when the pot is mostly dry, and occasionally wipe dust off the leaves so the plant can absorb light more efficiently. Because it needs so little attention, the ZZ plant is one of the best choices for spaces with no windows or for anyone who wants a low-maintenance houseplant. Four. Pothos, Epipremnum aureum. One common frustration in low-light rooms is a plant that looks healthy at first but slowly becomes long, thin, and weak with smaller leaves. This is a classic sign of low-light stretching. Pothos is still a good choice because it adapts better than most houseplants, but a common mistake is letting it trail endlessly without any maintenance. Over time, this causes the plant to look sparse instead of full, especially in darker spaces where growth is already slower. A simple fix is to trim the longer vines and reroot the cuttings in water, then plant them back into the same pot to create a fuller look. This method is easy, inexpensive, and works well even for beginners. For best results, stick with a reliable variety like golden pothos and rotate the pot every few weeks, so the plant grows evenly on all sides. In the next point, we'll cover another mistake many people make without realizing it, especially in rooms with dark corners. Five. Heartleaf Philodendron, Philodendron hederaceum. Here's a common but quiet mistake many people make: placing a plant in low light and then constantly moving it around, hoping it will suddenly improve. In reality, frequent changes in location can stress the plant and slow its growth. The Heartleaf Philodendron is well known for tolerating low light, but it thrives best when its environment stays consistent. If you notice yellowing leaves or leaf drop, it is usually a sign of overwatering or poor drainage, not a serious problem that requires drastic action. The best approach is to keep the plant in one stable spot and water it only when the top layer of soil feels dry to the touch. Make sure the pot has proper drainage so excess water can escape. With steady conditions and a simple care routine, the Heartleaf Philodendron will grow gradually and stay healthy. This makes it an excellent choice for creating a cozy indoor space, especially for seniors or anyone who prefers low-maintenance plants with reliable and predictable results. Six. Peace Lily Spathiphyllum. This is a common habit many people believe is correct: watering on a fixed schedule, such as every 2 days or every Sunday, especially when a plant starts to look slightly droopy. For a peace lily, this approach can cause problems in low light conditions. Drooping does not always mean the plant needs water. It can also be a sign that the roots are stressed because the soil is staying wet for too long. In dim rooms, moisture evaporates more slowly, so watering too often can lead to root issues rather than helping the plant recover. A better approach is to water based on the condition of the soil, not the calendar. Always check the top inch of soil first and only water when it feels dry to the touch. Peace lilies can tolerate lower light than many flowering plants, but they still need good air circulation and Seven. Chinese Evergreen Aglaonema. In rooms without windows, colors often fade and many plants lose their visual appeal. This makes people assume that indoor plants are boring or unattractive in shade. Chinese Evergreen, Aglaonema, is a strong counterexample because its leaves keep their patterns and color even in low-light conditions. It is well known for adapting to indoor environments where sunlight is limited and indirect. A common mistake is placing the plant in direct sunlight to help it grow. This usually causes leaf burn rather than improvement. Low light does not mean adding harsh sun. It means providing steady, soft conditions. Keep the soil slightly moist but never waterlogged, and protect the plant from cold air coming from air conditioners. Aglaonema works very well in living rooms and offices where you want a decorative plant that performs reliably in dim spaces. Eight. Dracaena Janet Craig, Dracaena fragrans. Many people want a tall plant to fill empty corners, but they often choose plants that require bright light. Over time, those plants slowly weaken. Dracaena Janet Craig is popular in offices because it tolerates low light and maintains a clean, upright structure. It adds height and balance without demanding much attention. One frequent issue is brown leaf tips, which people often blame on low light. In reality, this usually comes from inconsistent watering, dry air, or poor water quality. Water the plant when the top layer of soil feels dry, not on a strict schedule. Light misting or placing it near other plants can help with humidity, and filtered water is recommended if tap water is very hard. With steady care, this plant keeps dark corners looking organized and alive. Nine. Parlor Palm, Chamaedorea elegans. A common concern with darker rooms is whether palms can survive without sunlight. While many palm species struggle indoors, the parlor palm is one of the most adaptable. It handles low light well and grows at a slow, manageable pace, making it suitable for apartments and quiet indoor spaces. The most common mistake is placing it in a hot, dry area and watering too heavily. Parlor palms prefer even moisture rather than soaking wet soil. Water when the top soil begins to dry, and keep it away from strong heat sources. Avoid over-fertilizing, as slow and steady growth is healthier for this plant. Its soft, relaxed look makes it especially appealing for seniors or anyone wanting simple plant care. Spider plant, Chlorophytum comosum. One small habit often determines whether a plant improves or keeps declining: regular rotation and quick light checks. In low light, plants naturally lean toward the brightest source. If they are never rotated, growth becomes uneven and weaker over time. Spider plants can tolerate lower light, but they easily look messy if light exposure stays one-sided. The solution is simple and gentle. Rotate the pot a quarter turn once a week so all sides receive similar light. Wipe dust from the leaves so the plant can photosynthesize more efficiently, and trim brown tips neatly to reduce stress. These small actions may seem minor, but over several months they help keep the plant balanced, healthy, and visually tidy without any heavy effort. (11) Bird's nest fern, Asplenium nidus. Bathrooms and shaded rooms can be difficult environments because moisture and airflow are often inconsistent. Bird's nest fern is well suited for these spaces because it prefers low light and enjoys higher humidity. Its broad leaves add texture and fullness where other plants may fail. A common mistake is pouring water directly into the center of the plant, also known as the nest. This can cause rot and long-term damage. Instead, water the soil around the base and keep the leaves clean so the plant can function well in low light. With decent airflow, this fern thrives in bathrooms and shaded rooms while requiring only calm, careful handling. (12) Lucky bamboo, Dracaena sanderiana. In rooms with no windows, many people assume only artificial plants will survive. Lucky bamboo proves otherwise. It can live in low light and requires very little maintenance, making it ideal for desks, shelves, and quiet corners. It grows slowly and adapts well to indoor conditions. The most common issue comes from dirty water and poor container hygiene. Stagnant water leads to weak roots and unpleasant odors. Change the water regularly, rinse the container, and keep the plant away from strong heat or cold drafts. Bright sunlight is unnecessary. Clean water, stability, and patience are what keep lucky bamboo healthy. Conclusion. The main takeaway is simple. Low-light plants do not need special tricks or constant attention. They need the right plant choice and a calm, consistent care routine. When you select shade-tolerant plants such as snake plant, ZZ plant, cast iron plant, Aglaonema, and peace lily, you set a strong foundation for long-term success. Avoid common slow mistakes like watering on a fixed schedule, letting soil stay soggy, or never rotating the pot. Small habits done regularly, such as checking soil moisture, rotating plants, and keeping leaves clean, make a big difference over time. These gentle routines are especially helpful for dark rooms and no window spaces, and they are ideal for anyone who prefers simple, low-effort indoor gardening.